But I don't know if he's just talking big game.
Yeah.
Oh, he's all talk. I think in whenever he's like saying all these jokes, it's like all talk. Because remember in like 93 when she's like, take off your shirt, and he's like, come take it off yourself, officer, and she immediately is like just walks up and he's like, wait, what? Like
He loses it.
this man is all talk, but the moment that Lauren does anything that will like.
Welcome to The Story Thinker, a Webtoons and Witcher podcast for superfans with scene-by-scene analysis. Featuring sharp co-hosts for a fuller picture, we dive deep into character psychology, relationships, and theories. We'd love it if you could like, subscribe, comment, and rate us on all podcast platforms and social media. For bonus content, you can support The Story Thinker on Patreon. Let's begin.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 143, titled Red Room. And if you would like to hear our chat about 50 Shades of Grey, you may head over to the bonus content because we tried recording this 5 minutes ago and we just talked about 50 Shades of Grey.
That's the first time we ever did bonus content at the beginning versus the end.
Love the bonus content though, it's fun.
I know, the bonus content's great. I'm here for it.
All right. Okay, so we are here with Emily, Lily, and Bundin.
Hi.
And so to preface this, we were expecting / hoping that we would get some kind of foil or contrast or something to 43, since we are in 143.
143.
And we had a little bit of it, which we'll discuss when we get to that.
No, but not as much as we were expecting. I was a little, I don't want to say disappointed because that's not the word. I'm never really disappointed with Purple Hyacinth, but 142 definitely seemed like it should have been the foil to 143. Like if that had taken place in the cave, that would have just been like the penultimate.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that the thing is that they don't really plan the episode based on like the numbers. Like sometimes it might need to shorten or lengthen them, so there was no way for them to plan for that anyways. Maybe that was the plan to have.
That's what I was thinking, Bundin. I was thinking that episode was actually supposed to be the 143 foil, and then it just ended up not really working out that way, which like it is what it is. They're on a crazy schedule with Webtoon. But that whole dynamic they had the last episode, that was the complete, because I sent you guys the screenshots in our group chat. It's like she goes from saying like, how can I trust you, Kieran, to I trust you. You know, it's just, it's perfect. It's the complete foil to 143. So like this was fun and cute in the beginning and I love it still, but it definitely wasn't what I was expecting.
Let's just pretend that, you know, we just read the number wrong.
Yeah. We're gonna get more. We're gonna get more. It's coming more. It's coming more frequently. This is a pattern. Scientifically, we're gonna get more. Like,
I mean, they're gonna get married, so
yeah.
Right. He basically proposed to her this episode.
Manifestation. In a way, both of the guys kind of did gestures.
Yes, we were talking like, in the server like furiously for the past 30 minutes. Like the boys are making the moves. The boys are like making the moves this episode. Like I love it. I'm here for it. I love a man that like knows what he wants and goes for it, and they're going for it.
Yeah, surprised at Will. So let's get into it. We're at the hospital, and Kim is sleeping in a very uncomfortable position because there's like a gap between her neck and the pillow.
No neck
just
support.
Levitated.
That drug still has her really stiff. So she's
oh no.
The poison still has her. She's like
she's got rigor mortis but alive.
I know. How much longer will she be in the hospital? Poor Kim.
I don't know, but back in the day, people stayed in the hospital for like 500 years for the simplest thing. So I'm serious. Like something nowadays, that same day surgery, you would be in the hospital for like a month back then. So she'll probably be there for a little bit.
But the police are paying for her to stay there too. So it's like, might as well chill.
Oh, we love some paid leave. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe by the time it gets to like season finale, she'll come out. Maybe.
I feel like they're planning for like her being in the hospital is specifically to keep her out of whatever goes on in the season finale. Potentially.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's to keep her safe too. But yeah,
she might be out for the count now.
Yeah, maybe she'll play some part in the aftermath of that. Because I could see Will, Lauren, and Kieran being involved in the finale in some way. And then maybe it's up to Kim next season or like whatever goes on after like the ball to pick up the pieces and kind of be kind of become pseudo loon eclipse vibes.
I could see that because she's so incredibly perceptive. I could see her kind of taking like a bigger role in the next season as far as putting things together. But I think she's taking a back seat this season for a reason. I think there's a reason because she's too perceptive. Like she's far too perceptive. So I think things would get figured out too quickly if she was like on the case right now.
I'm trying to think of like another deep plot reason, but nah. Like Dana Redcliffe, but no, nothing comes to mind. But now we have, this is a very, very sweet panel. We have Will silhouetted in the door, just staring at her sleeping. And that is the tropiest trope ever, and I love it. There's nothing like watching your love sleeping.
It's a great trope.
It's such a great trope.
I love to see it, but also like this is not the same day as when Lauren, like, because they were at the library. And is this the same day as that? I mean, it could be.
No, I think it's the next day.
I think it's the next day.
Because Lauren went to visit.
Oh, wait, what was the name of that episode? It was like the evening because the sun was setting.
Yeah, the sun was setting.
Yeah, so this is, I think, the day after. Day because
this boy is coming to her bed every single day to check on her and make sure
he's a dedicated one.
It's probably not even visiting hours, and he's just using his authority to get in.
Yeah. Oh, he's got those doctors and nurses wrapped around his finger. If I saw someone looking like that, I'd be like, go right in, sir.
Dr. 𝗪𝗻𝗻𝗄 is already on the Kiwi ship, like 100%.
Oh, it's a really sweet. He's gazing at her, and he walks in. I love the lighting too, the shadow. It's a different look. It's always nice to get some variety in the visual. And I don't know if you've ever gotten this, like the white room and the fluorescent lights and the shadows.
It's like cooler gray tones.
Blue.
Yeah. And they always do shading and shadows so well in Purple Eyes. Like no matter the environment too.
So he walks in, he reaches into his pocket, and he brings out a music box. Oh. And yeah, I'm trying to actually, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a second, I think I should say something about this music box. Is this the music box?
Isn't this the one that was in the window?
Yeah, all the way back. I'm like, two.
I didn't go back to that episode to double check, but it would make sense.
I could do that now. Hold up. Y'all talk, I'll do it.
It would make sense if it was the one that she saw in the window, the episode that they found Harvey and she ran away. And he found her in front of the window, so it would make sense if it was that one.
Yeah, I didn't check either, but I was assuming it's a callback to that. Like,
did he buy it, or did he buy it for her from that window? Like you saw,
I think he bought it for her.
Yeah. Okay. It looks like the one in the window is rectangular and it's a bit bigger. It's like wider. It's more like a not like a square box. It's a rectangular box, and it's got like a dancing figure.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, but I assume that this is still like a popular lullaby. It's like, music boxes. Like I had a few music boxes when I was younger. They'd always play like the same 5 songs. Like, I don't know, like, or like typical music. So I'm assuming this song is like important in the world. So I don't think it's out of question to think that he found another music box that plays the same song.
Right. Yeah. He saw her looking at a music box, in the store window. So it's safe for him to assume that she would appreciate the present.
Yeah.
It's so nice of him. That's like, I'm sorry to say, that's boyfriend material. You don't just buy a music box.
Boyfriend material. Husband, lock that down.
Yeah, that is husband material.
Husband material.
Husband material since like day one, honestly.
I mean, to be fair, Will has always been the most like husband material.
Yeah.
100%.
Right. Every time I lust for Kieran, or I like, I was reading Purple Hyacinth and I looked at it, I'm like, wow, look at Kieran. And Yoel just never fails to remind me that Kieran is like a crazy messed up assassin. I'm like, fine. But I don't think he would object to Will.
Yeah, but we love a good traumatized man.
So. Exactly.
And they're both traumatized in their own way.
I mean, that's true. It's not like Will's not. He just, like
he's not more typical.
He hasn't killed a bunch of people. So
that we know of.
That we know.
I know that we know of.
That we know of. But he's so silly.
Yeah, and he's standing there over her bed, looking at her sleeping. It's ridiculously sweet, and he's holding the music box, and then he hesitates. Oh my god! And the way he looks on the panel, I can't even. When did he become so gorgeous? I mean, oh,
It's because he realized he likes her.
yes, the glow, the love
You get
glow.
ultra gorgeous when you're in love.
More accepting now of his feelings.
And now he says poetry, no less. He says, the night when you brought me home, it was cold, but I felt warm.
I can't believe he's so loud. I can't so loud.
Oh my
Beautiful man.
what happened? When did he go from like stilted, can't talk about his feelings, closed off?
This is how he is deep down, Mindy. He just has a tough outer shell.
So yeah. He could reveal
He's
it.
on the journey of the slow burn, and now we're at the point where he's
like Kieran's an artist and Will is a poet. Like these boys are just artists in love.
Creatives.
You know what? He's a musical boy, right? So he's got that
That's
emotionalness that's just deep down that he's had to repress his entire life, but now like it's starting to manifest itself, and he's starting to see things differently, and he's starting to see Kim differently, and her being like this in the hospital and stuff has made him realize that no, he cares a lot about her in a different way than he expected, and he's embracing that, because when's the last time he's had someone that he's felt this sort of like tenderness towards, right? Like
both of her boys are realizing who in my life other than this woman makes me feel this way, is here for me this way, supports me this way. It's so good. And he's already met the in-laws multiple times. So if you have met the in-laws and you can put up with the in-laws, like that's the true test. Like
that is
here. If you can get past the in-laws, like it's smooth sailing.
And they love him already too. It's not even that he got past them. They embraced him.
Yeah. Which that can be tough. So
I'm sure
yes, they can.
Hope your in-laws are not watching this, Lily.
Oh, there's no way. Yeah, she can't even manage her phone, so there's no way she's watching this podcast. So.
Got it. And he continues and says, I hope this music box brings you warmth too. It makes this hospital a little less dreadful. And then I wish there was real music, but there isn't actual music. There's just tick, tick.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one where they could have included like the same melody, because they have the music box melody from
I know they could have just used that.
Yeah, I had that play and then fade, and then we didn't need any more music after that, but even just that little bit would have been
just
nice.
That right there. It sometimes makes me wonder why. I know like with Soph's schedule with putting episodes out, she can be on a little bit of a time crunch, especially because she's doing like comic cons and things like that, and so I know it's more work to add in the soundtrack, but it sometimes makes me wonder why she can't add it in later. Like I know they go back and edit dialogue later, so I don't know why.
Maybe she could. Maybe she'll do it for the.
Yeah, I mean maybe that would be great, because it would definitely add to the episode.
Maybe there'll be music in a future episode. Kim wakes up and like opens the music.
That would be good.
Nice.
That would be really good.
Because she's asleep right now, so she wouldn't really appreciate it right now. Is okay, that kind of makes sense. But they have like the musical, like they show that like the TikTok, like it feels like there was an opportunity there to have it, and it's just not there, and that's fine. But I've also noticed, I think I've mentioned this before, season 3 doesn't have as much music as the other 2 seasons.
It doesn't.
So
yeah.
I wish that's just a change in priority for Soph, or is just some other reason why she can't include enough music. Oh, it's just a choice not to. So
or maybe she's old and tired like us.
Yeah, hold on.
She's like, I already spent so much time drawing this shit for you guys. I can't make any more music.
But
I don't mind if she reuses the old music, because the last episode 142 had the soundtrack from 105 and it was great. Just any music. I don't mind, as long as it's
sorry about that. My dad came in. I forgot to mute. But it's all good.
All right, so he leaves, and I was like waiting for Kim's eyes to open.
Oh, me too. I thought
me too. I was waiting for us to be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
But no, it's just like a hair falls. But wait, if a hair falls across your face and your loved one is not there to move it, does it really fall?
Exactly.
No, that's the question.
Fall?
That's the slow burn rule of physics.
Yeah. I had that same question. I was wondering, did he maybe move her hair back and we just didn't see it? But we would of course see that, right? Like
no,
they would
it says the previous panel says clack, which means he closed the door. So I mean, unless that door closing like gave a strong draft, I don't understand.
I think it's just to show that she's actually asleep. But you know, like
because we all thought she was gonna open her eyes.
I thought that she was gonna open her eye, but the fact that her hair falls and she doesn't do anything or doesn't react in any way, I'm like, oh, she's like actually asleep. At least that's what I thought.
We'll get the hair put back behind her ear scene one day. We'll get it.
And there's in the next scene, I think there is.
That's what Kieran's doing.
Okay, we're gonna get there.
So Will's not there yet, but Kieran is.
I read it like 3 times. I could not believe what I was seeing. Okay, let's get there. So now we're in the cave. And I was very excited when I saw the cave. I was like, oh, we're getting the cave.
We're back and we're still in the cave. Great.
Because it's the same day they went to the cave.
And
after they renewed their vows.
Like us, Lauren is yawning. I can't tell how much of that was inspired by Lauren. And they are sitting together at the table with their books piled up between them. And Kieran's wearing his boob window shirt.
He's always wearing his like pirate billowy shirt. We love him.
Okay, but like he changes. They go to the cave. Kieran's like, she's wearing the same outfit from work. He physically changes. He was not wearing that. That's
like
not
in front of her. He's
outfit.
like, oh, let me take this off.
I know. No, why didn't we get that's another one of those scenes?
Right?
I know, but like
another stitch popped. Oof, let me take off my shirt dramatically. No, I think he's just got clothes lying around there and like his work shirt is like annoying. So he's like, nah.
Yes, because it's got that high ass collar that's so
probably starched too.
Yeah, he's like, I
gotta do a good impression.
Yeah, but like this panel's so cute to me because it looks like he's like her teacher, because the board in the background looks like a blackboard and he's like, they got the books and he just looks like he's like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is totally, somebody write a fanfic where he's like her substitute teacher, like please.
Oh my god,
Professor Kieran.
I know it's a trope. I do not find it appealing. Teachers sleeping with students. Sorry.
I mean, I don't normally, Mindy, but here.
Yes.
Okay, how about TA Kieran? TA Kieran.
Oh my god. TA Kieran. Okay,
make it a bit less
better than a teacher, yes.
And then like they begin to date after he's no longer grading her stuff.
Right.
There we
go.
I
mean, I was a TA and we got an email like you can't have romantic relationships with anyone
under
you.
Oh, but like, why does he look so good?
Yeah. I mean, I was into that too, but now that I'm back in grad school, no professor
like, no
for me either. Nope.
None of my TAs were ever
it's too close.
Well, I didn't have any sexy TAs.
Yeah, no, I was in
None of the TAs were, at least when I was in school.
I don't remember mine.
I wasn't into that. I was into getting my education and my degree. I had no time.
I had already met my husband too, so it's like I was already getting some. So it's like,
no, I had no relationships in undergrad, and then I did long distance for grad school. So,
So sexy TA Kieran is telling Lauren that it's time to go to bed. And oh my god, okay, so she's like, are you kicking me out? And then as soon as I read that, I thought of Lily, and you always saying how you want the 1 bedroom. I was like, is she gonna stay over?
I was screaming. I went, 1 bedroom, 1 bedroom. Oh my god, is 143 the 143 a 1 bedroom? I was dying. I was losing my mind.
I think half of the fun of this episode was all the things that almost happened, but didn't.
I know, like the expectation.
Truly.
Yeah.
But I mean, someone just like to fuck with us, so it's like I knew it wasn't actually going to happen. But
really, I thought it might. I really did.
It's not. They like.
I was just there, like there are no circumstances keeping this girl here other than pure laziness. There's no way that she's gonna.
Yeah,
stay.
there's no way.
In my mind,
no way.
in my
like
heart, I wanted it. Right,
in your heart. It's so late. Who wants to walk? It's like cold and
even her. If her leg was injured again, like 136, she still would not spend the night. She'd be like, "I'm gonna be on the freaking floor. Like you can have the bed." Like she's.
It'll happen one episode though.
But now she.
I mean, this time they made up, and like she could have just made an excuse and like called her uncle again, said she was staying with someone. because she knows him better now than in, what was it, 36, 37 when.
Yeah, I was about to
the
say
first time.
35, 36, 37. Yeah.
Iconic. But yeah, it again, it will happen. I manifest.
It will happen.
Well, I mean, yeah, if we can talk about it later, but I think this is foreshadowing that she is going to spend the night in the cave at some point.
I think they're
It would make
hinting at it
especially
for
since
sure.
we're jumping forward at
Why
some point
put
to
the bed there?
he's dead when Ňěra's there. So I'm like, is she staying there for some reason? Is she hiding out? Like what, like is Kieran there? Is there a reason why she's staying there? I think that maybe this could be some foreshadowing. Like, please.
So many
That would be great.
possibilities.
Agreed. I think they're hinting at it for sure.
Awesome. So he leans over and he's like touching his cheek and he says, "Are you all right? Is the detective implying an inappropriate desire to spend the night?"
Yes, you are. We all are. Yes.
You could hear the screams of all the fast passes as they read this as soon as it came out, being like, yes,
Girl.
Like
Yes.
saying inappropriate desire, I'm gone. Like that's it.
Kieran is pushing the border. If he wasn't into her, he would not be saying this. He is just flirting recklessly.
Non-stop. Just, I mean, he really went from breaking up to like proposing.
That she's sleep with
Like,
him.
please stay
And
over.
the physical contact now. I mean, they're just like freely touching each other, and it's great.
Yeah.
He's
And
like,
so the next
you go.
panel, I
He's like brushing the little flyaways from her.
Yeah.
bum.
I don't even understand. This is like, how is he doing this? I mean, she's not even reacting.
No, she's just rolling her eyes.
because
I
she
would be a
doesn't
puddle.
know. She had
I would be a puddle on the floor.
Yeah.
Naked. Like this is
Just shove it off.
I am
Fastest
melted.
disrobing you
Gone.
ever saw.
massive disrobing. But like Lauren, I mean, I just kind of have this theory that like Lauren is not going to, she cannot open up until we get over this Dylan stuff. Like she has to know what happens to Dylan, come to terms with it, and then she can finally open up.
I don't know. I feel like I would argue that finding out about Dylan might happen after, or at least like concurrently with it, and cause drama for that whole situation, because we think that they're connected, and that seems like it's going to cause a bunch of stuff. But
I don't know.
yeah, the girl is going to take a while. Basically, she needs to have something needs to happen to get her in the zone, like how Will got like with Kim. That's what got him in the zone, and then him talking to Kim, and now Kim's feeling it. Kieran had his whole thing. Lauren's the only missing piece now, which makes sense. Honestly, Lauren would be the last one to figure it out.
Straggling behind. So I don't know though, because I really do wonder if it is going to take her figuring out the whole Dylan situation to get over it, and then finally realize her feelings for Kieran. Because the very first episode, she's on a date and she says, "My uncle says I need to date to move forward," and she can't. Like she said at some point, I forget what, I don't know if it's the first episode or the second one, but she said like, "Oh yeah, like, you know," Kim said something like, "Oh yeah, all your dates end so poorly, they're so entertaining, like all the guys are crazy."
That's episode 1.
Yeah, that's
way back.
Literally episode 1. So she's trying to date, but she just cannot get past it in her head. Like she just, I just don't think that she puts herself in the romantic. It's just not a priority. I just don't think it's a priority for her. I think she needs to get past that first.
Right. But I do think that, you know, she's establishing a relationship with Kieran. So even if she didn't intend to be romantic with anyone, I think he's creeping into her heart.
Oh yeah,
slowly.
Oh, it's getting there. She's just taking longer than.
Yeah. I think she might be on a slower burn than Kieran.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
She's on the slowest of slow.
Yeah.
Like for Kieran, Lauren is like bringing about like the things that he's missed out in his life, and what he truly wants and what he's always wanted. With Lauren, Kieran's kind of just offering an alternate perspective and kind of broadening it to be like, no, not everybody in this organization is bad, and there are people who aren't always what they seem, and the grayness of people. And yeah, and just she's on a whole sort of different mental journey with him and how their relationship is affecting her, and it's not as like close to like her like personal issues, which again the whole Dylan thing is probably linked to that. But again, I could see the Dylan thing maybe happening later, if only because that is more relevant to like the plot itself. So I can't see that really resolving quickly, and I would like some more movements of 𝗏𝗏 before that. So, but you know,
I mean, I hope so. I sincerely hope so. But yes, we'll see.
Yeah, but I did notice she's showing some cleavage here, so I think that she's trying. At least so far,
Yes,
is drawing her more sexy.
I think that the last episode was more of the foil. It is nice to see her so open there, because we all know what happened in 43, and so it's nice to see her like so unguarded. Like the neck is like, she's very vulnerable, like she's very open. He's touching her, but clearly in like a romantic / flirty, friendly way.
Right.
So even though it's not exactly what we expected, it is still a little bit of a foil.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they've like over what now 100 episodes, they've developed a more casual form of intimacy, which is really nice. I mean, it feels so long ago, but it was only a few months ago, 43 for them, right?
Yeah,
like
maybe 2 months
like
less.
What, 3 months?
Yeah, so I mean, it's been what, 2 years for us and a few months for them. So
Anybody else was I the only one that
regard.
did a reread? I did a reread of 43.
Oh yeah, you did. I didn't.
Preparation. I just wanted to see. I just wanted to see, like, because I thought it really was going to be like a bigger thing than it was.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, in that regard,
it was kind of whiplash. Like it was. We've come really far.
Yeah, you could argue
The art
months
too.
and a few months technically for them is not quite a slow burn versus like for us, it's been 2+ years.
I hear that is a good point.
one other
I
thing.
mean, considering some books and webtoons and other forms of romances, it's like everything's really fast. It's like
right
2
on.
weeks, it's like 2 weeks and we're getting it in 2 years. But like, I think they've known each other for 4 months now.
Yeah, 4 or 5 months maybe.
November, December, January. Now
They're
we're
in
in February.
Yeah.
So 4 months, because didn't the story start like mid-November or something?
Yeah, it started in November. We got a date for when they started fake dating, and he's like, "Oh, we went to this restaurant on this day," and like,
so yeah, it's been about 4 months, and that's not nothing. Like that's a decent amount of time. Really.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was gonna say.
I know you said you were started.
And my ADD brain just like, I'll have a thought and then I think of other things and I listen to other things and then
Girl, same. Mindy, I don't know if you see it, but we have a timer. Okay, just wanted to make sure.
I remember what I was gonna say. One other thing I find is that like it would have been nice to have something big and emotional and like game-changing 𝗏𝗏 now, but honestly having them just kind of be like the banter and the flirting and it be so light in the cave in and of itself is the whiplash that is expected. So it's nothing like, it's not one thing for the whole episode and whole dramatic back and forth. It's just kind of them chilling and being themselves and kind of teasing.
I mean, he's making inappropriate sex and marriage jokes 100 episodes from 43. This is insane.
And casually, instead of the horrible touching that he did to her before, now he's just casually touching her hair in this loving manner.
And she's into it.
Yes. She rolls her eyes.
Secretly, girl is into it.
Yes. Very secretly.
Deep.
And she's like, "You're the one implying indecent things here." Like, me? Before marriage? Such simple thoughts never dared to cross my mind. Oh my God,
it's not red.
I know.
That is so dripping with sarcasm, though.
Right.
I mean, this, like, Bundin, you said it best. The man is Catholic guilt. The man is still Catholic guilt.
Man has Catholic guilt about premarital sex,
but
not murder.
I mean, we already saw him in the confessional in the church. Like, we know that Kieran,
a religious man. Yes.
Things that has been confirmed. Kieran is a Catholic. He's a virgin, and he has Catholic guilt.
He probably is a virgin, by the way. I mean,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I
I know
know.
this has been like a hot debate before, but I don't know. I
Because
don't
there
know.
was a previous episode where he makes a joke about, I mean, a quickie, and it's
I was
not
like,
in red.
But I don't know if he's just talking big game.
yeah.
Oh,
I
he's
think so.
all talk. I think in whenever he's like saying all these jokes, it's like all talk. Because remember in like 93, when she's like, take off your shirt, and he's like, come take it off yourself, officer. And she immediately is like, just walks up and he's like, wait, what? Like,
He
That-
loses it.
this man is all talk, but the moment that Lauren does anything that will like,
Oh, well, especially when she
Go
said
with
that
it.
comment about handcuffs, like way, way, way back then.
yeah,
He
no,
was like,
episode 20, the tango, it is engraved into my mind forever.
anytime she does anything like that, like whenever she lifted up her skirt to show him her, what was it, like the gun that she had strapped in her leg, he's
When
like,
she was in his shirt the next day after she slept over, like so many moments where she takes him off guard and it just like has him shook. I think he does this because I think his personality is very like teasing, shit-eating grin type vibes, but the moment that is redirected back to him seriously,
he
like,
malfunctions. He doesn't know how to
malfunction.
handle it.
Kieran.exe stops working and I love it. So yeah,
I
I
also
don't know. I could see it both ways. I could see him being a virgin, but also not.
I feel like I don't think he is. I don't
I
maybe
don't
more
know. I'm like, I don't think he has tons of experience,
yeah.
but I
I
feel
don't
like
know when he would do it. Like he's got so many other things going on in his life, unless it was some sort of like
well,
I
I
don't
think
know,
I
like,
said, I know, I forgot what
cultural thing in the
came up in the
PS.
server, but I said maybe he, you know how he goes on like undercover missions. I feel like it probably could have come up at some point where he had to like seduce people for information. As
I mean,
spies do. I mean,
Yeah,
the
like-
man is ridiculously attractive.
Yeah. Or like no strings attached hookup. I don't know. I could see
Yeah.
him doing that more, but not all the time. But I could see him.
No,
doing
but I
that.
definitely don't see anything like romantic, long term. I
No,
don't see,
nothing
he said
serious.
before nobody spent the night at his place, but I could see him having like some casual.
I maintain my headcanon in my mind that he and Bella have kissed at least once. And
Oh,
then
for
they were, like,
sure. They have. I even think they might have hooked up.
yeah, no, like I think that they
Oh.
could have like I'm. because
I
Bella
think
is
they
bi.
hooked up. I
feel like
think they have
and
hooked
then
up.
it'd just be like, nah. Like,
no.
nah, we're good. Friends. Yeah.
I think it was like a one-time thing.
Yeah, I ever since we met that woman and their dynamic, I don't know, I've just had the vibe, and now he's just like, live your best, like lesbian
Well, so
lifestyle.
also
Like,
confirmed that they're both bi, so it's like,
yeah,
I mean, it's perfectly reasonable.
and they're also very beautiful people. Like, I don't know, just
Growing
makes
up
sense
together.
to me.
Yeah, and
I
like they
understand
were
that
in
being-
they were in the trenches together, training. They were, had probably some kind of emotional connection. They
Yeah,
probably-
I can 100% see that, but I also get people not vibing with it. That's just something that I could kind of see personally.
Mm.
But also, if that wasn't the case, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, they killed, like they hinted it so much. Why didn't they go with it? Like, no, it's just personal, like headcanon stuff. So
Yeah, same. I mean, I could see it. I could see it going that direction.
it could
but
go either way.
not that it matters. I don't think it's ever going to
No,
come up. But
it really doesn't
I could
matter.
see that being where some of his experience
Mhm.
comes from.
Mm.
I don't know. I just don't see it because for me, I think that he hates himself too much to allow himself to have that kind of pleasure and like that kind of emotional freedom or like
Yes.
release with someone.
But was
I
it emotional
That's
freedom?
enough.
Like, was it, or maybe it was
With
just something
Bella,
to get
I feel like
over.
it's different because they were in the same scenario, and then it was just kind of like a no feelings, no strings attached.
just do it to get it over with type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah, scenario.
Yeah.
But
I'm very grossed out by this whole
Yeah,
concept.
no, it makes me sad to think about. I don't think that we're gonna get the answer to that actually, unless we do get more like
Intimacy.
I don't know, like that
unless
type
we
of
get like
content
some
or
more, unless we get a
backstory.
backstory where that pops up.
Yeah,
You know what? It's funny. I do feel like Lauren and Kieran at some point will talk about whether he's had a relationship before. I feel like that is something Lauren would ask him, especially if they get close and romantic.
I mean that should be something that like you talk about, like just to be kind of, open about like
Right.
where you're at what you like, you don't need to like go over every single thing, every person
really?
you've been with, whatever. But like, I mean, you could like,
When I met my husband, I made him tell me all his previous relationships.
You
Well,
got it.
yeah,
Everybody's different, but
details before you, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, my husband
we
and
talk about it for the
I,
next 10 years.
yeah, I mean, my husband and I, we were part of the same friend group before we started dating. So we didn't actually have to tell the other person like everybody we got hooked up with.
Oh, that's nice. You're like, you already know.
Yeah, we already know the history. We don't need to like delve into it again.
So Lauren just completely ignores what he says. Maybe she has a slight grin on her face, rubs her eyes and says, I'll be working on Green's case tomorrow, but let's meet here again at 8. And she gets up and he says, sure, I'll keep digging on Redcliffe. There's still papers. And she's like, all right, be careful. And Kieran is just looking at her with his cute like arms crossed, looking hot AF. He's like, of course, by all means, you can spend the night if you want. And then she just
that wink
throws papers.
Well, I love how in the last episode it ended with her doing the little winky face, and now he's getting the little winky face in.
I mean, see, they're touching each other, they're winking at each other, like they've developed a casual intimacy.
It's all coming together.
He wants it so bad, and he's not afraid to like.
I mean, he really
That's
truly
also not
went
in red.
from.
You know,
He was
it's not
breaking
in
up
red.
with her, and now he's asking her to spend the night. It's just
Right? Instead of her storming out in a huff because he choked her, he's asking her to stay with him.
Yeah, no, I 100% think that like, even like he knows that it's like joking, but in a way, him being sarcastic and playing it off with the sarcasm is a way to kind of express himself subconsciously. That's what I feel in my heart, and
That's what I was
keep
thinking
that.
too.
yeah. Well, I think he's also just brushing off the. Like he doesn't want to go into, I don't know, too deep of a conversation about what happened in the precinct where they talked about like that, because that was a heavy conversation.
Yeah.
And so I
can
think
see
he's just
that.
kind of like continuing the light, flirty vibes.
Yeah, he's keeping it at the level that she put it at.
Mm-hmm.
So I again, one other thing just is like, he's like, oh yes, premarital, you must leave room for Jesus, and then he's like, but if you want to, you can't. Like, so it's always like, I whatever you want, Lauren, we could like that's which I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God,
consensus
Bundin
key.
and I were having a whole conversation in the server about the leave room for Jesus.
No, what? Keep Catholic guilt.
Yes, the Catholic guilt. The Catholic guilt is strong with this one.
Oh, Lord.
Mhm. I mean, I tried. I was raised that way too. I really tried. I failed, but I failed miserably, but I really did try.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean,
7 years of Catholic school will do that to you.
it sneaks up on you, even as an adult, and you haven't gone to church in years. You're like, wait a minute.
Oh, 100. You're like, where did that come from?
You're like,
I'm-
I feel like weird shame about this random thing. Let me unpack that.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, I'm Orthodox Jewish, and for sure I grew up like didn't even talk to boys, and yeah. And then that probably colored my view on him not sleeping around, because I'm probably still like, no, this is the right way.
You're like, he's a good boy. Kieran is a good boy.
Oh. So now we have the theater, and we're in the dressing room. Lauren is examining the cracked mirror, right? We know she felt the draft of air and she is looking at it. And Will, really cute, he's just swoops right in, peers up at it too, and he's like, has the mirror joined your list of suspects? There's something fishy about it. There's a faint flow of air coming from behind it. And Will says, well, in the meantime, Marsh sent me to tell you he's almost done backstage. All right, I'll hurry up. It's like, hey, Will, yeah? Have you spoken to your dad about what Rafael told you? And he's like, no, I didn't go to the manor, and I didn't really have the heart to confront him lately. I think we mentioned this before, but now we confirmed that like Will has his own place. Doesn't seem to sleep.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
been
it's
in
on a apartment.
63, 64, because he and Kim go there, and that's when he finds out about the broken watch, and we get him playing the piano, and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and isn't the episode where he did go back to the manor and have dinner with his dad, the maids were like, oh, we're seeing you here more frequently.
Right. They were like, oh, you're here today.
Yeah.
All right, so that was my forgetfulness then. I remember those episodes. I was like, did not connect them. And she's like, well, understandable. Since I got here early today, I spoke to the director and asked him to gather whatever was left of Thalia's belongings in the theater. and she picks up a box. The other day you mentioned you thought everything was linked to her. There may be something in here that's helpful. And Will's like, oh, thank you, Lauren. He smiles. That's so sweet. And then you mentioned earlier, like, oh, well, who else has their back? I'm like, yeah, well, Will has Lauren. Well, Lauren's like looking out for him.
Lauren has his back too. It's just, she's so thoughtful, you know.
I'm loving the 𝗏𝗏 friendship that we've been getting this season, right? Like, I feel like they've had a lot more moments of just them and kind of talking to each other, being real with each other. And I just really appreciate their friendship. Just that, like, I know that, I don't know how, I mean, this is probably like a well-known thing, but like back when PH was being planned, they were going to be like fiancés
engaged,
or some
right?
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then F and Soph were like, no, let's make them friends. And you could tell they just have a really nice friendship. They have a good bond. They know where each other are at in a way that's like different to any other sort of relationships they've had. You can see how long they've known each other and how they interact and how they look out for each other. And it's just nice to see more of it.
Does that make you think he's the betrayer?
I don't want to think about this.
because they're so similar. Because that's what the fortune teller says.
I have been worried about Will's father pulling some shit and making him like snitch on everybody for the longest time. I don't want that to happen. I feel like he's in such a good place right now, and I feel like he's made so much personal progress in his journey that I feel like that would just be really awful to see, and it would be really sad and depressing, which makes me even more sad because it's like, oh, I really want 𝗏𝗏 to be the traitor. I want it to be like 𝗏𝗂𝗏 over Will.
I could see it being 𝗏𝗂𝗏 or Will, maybe, because I think Kim knows that Kieran is her lewd partner, and I also think she probably knows that he's the PH.
I don't know. I think the former, not the latter. I think the PH is a big stretch.
Well,
like
I don't know, because if you go back and read from the beginning, all the timeline, like she has that run-in with him and they're like, Lauren, you ran into the PH, like, oh my God, you survived. And then all of a sudden she's acting weird and she's out late at night, and like Kim is really perceptive. She already kind of thought it was Kieran. So I don't know if she knows like 100% that he could be the PH, but I think that she's thought about it, and I think Will has not.
I don't know, just because the PH is like the top tier assassin. I think that she could never picture, like she could picture Lauren like working with somebody in the organization. I don't think she could go that far, because the PH kind of symbolizes the worst of the organization, and like I think she understands that Lauren has like this certain like moral like threshold, and then she wouldn't think that Lauren would do that. But then again, she does know Lauren well enough to know that she kind of has that sort of, she can bend her morality for the sake of,
and also like she's been so obsessed with Dylan for 10 years that she's willing to do anything to find out answers. So I don't know, that's my current theory. I mean, I feel like it could be, there's a good chance it could be 𝗏𝗏𝗏, and I feel like he's a good contender to be the betrayer. But I also feel like it could be Will, that he finds out that her partner is the PH and he just has the moral obligation to report it or do something about it.
I don't know, man, my money's still on 𝗏𝗏. Like, even last episode, she sees the picture of him and gets the flashback to like, oh, my wife was killed by all those criminals. She's like, wow, it's amazing. Like, you know, people and they're just like not who they seem.
That
and
flashback was just so weirdly placed in there that I'm like, this is purposeful.
Oh, it was super deliberate. It was very deliberate.
But the fact she doesn't even think about 𝗏𝗏 potentially being sus.
No, it was such an interesting way to portray it, because I thought that she was thinking of March, but it's we, the audience, reading
right.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering. It's like, are they making us think it's March and then they're gonna swerve and it's not?
Okay,
that would be really crafty.
I mean, it's so FNAF, they could do anything.
But also make it satisfying. Make us see the pieces to get there. I feel like if your audience figures out your twist, I don't think that's a bad twist. You know, it just means that you've created.
Yeah. And I mean, even
logic.
if it is March, I feel like the breadcrumbs leading us to March are still so small. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where they're just like here and there. So I feel like it would still be a big twist that it's March, even though it sounds like enough people
I
are
don't know.
starting
I
to
think they're
suspect
gonna
that.
throw us. I think it's gonna be a big twist. I don't think we're gonna see it.
We're so non-trusting.
I have zero
We
trust
suspected
in them.
everybody, though. Who do we not suspect?
Lauren. Because she can't
She
betray
can't be the
herself.
leader.
Lucy the maid.
I suspected Lucy. You know
I
why?
still
Butler.
suspect Lucy.
Because of a
Lucy is
fanfic.
sus.
Oh, you said because of the fanfic?
There's a fanfic that has Lucy, and she's very suspicious in the fanfic.
She
and
is suspicious. She's
Yeah.
very suspicious.
she appears like the wife.
Josephine is suspicious.
Yes.
Lady A is suspicious.
Mhm.
Lucy's suspicious. Lula is suspicious.
Oh,
Wow.
but Lila is
Lila is suspicious. Yeah.
Lila being the traitor is something I've heard so many rumblings of for so many years. If that becomes
Oh
a
my
thing,
god, that would just be so Agatha Christie of Soph and F, like the very last person you suspect, like the sweet innocent secretary that like has fucked shit up since the beginning.
Yeah, older than she appears. Ageless. And he says, thank you, Lauren. I've looked everywhere for any trace of her, but it's like she completely vanished in XX16. Which, by the way, I have to say, this theater is not very either organized, or they're a little bit of hoarders, that they still have stuff flying around for years of like a previous actress.
I mean, props and stuff are expensive. You keep, if it's
You
good,
just
you
gotta
keep
keep
it.
reusing the same.
They might not have like good arts funding in art house.
It's like,
I
oh, this
thought it was
girl
more
ran
like a
away.
personal
We
stuff.
keep her shit. Yay. Use it for other stuff.
Like her like everyday clothing, and they're like, okay, here's a costume.
Because wait, what are we in? XX29?
27, 28. No,
28?
A long time.
because it was the explosion was in XX17, and then so it was
10
10
years
years
But we're
in
in
November, and now we're in
And
February, so it's
So it's
28.
XX28.
That's a
But
massive
yeah, that's a
long
long
time.
time. That's a long time to keep
Yeah.
that stuff.
Mhm. Mhm. And he says she isn't in any death record, yet nobody knows where she went. And he sits down, and I think, yeah. Look at how high he is.
Will,
Yes.
sir.
Will,
I
why
know,
are you
right?
sitting so?
Mm,
Will, why so hot? Oh my god, this
I
is
know.
a great panel. I'm not normally much of a Will simper, but he looks great.
Yeah, he looks good in here.
Will discovered love, and his design has
He's
been.
had a glow up. The man is oozing some.
I think it's tied in with him realizing like his feelings. That's part of the glow.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it's also him kind of like letting loose more, being more relaxed, not being.
Yeah,
so-
for sure.
He's not so prim and proper.
Yeah, not stiff, like not so stiff.
Mhm.
Yep. And he said, I
Like-
don't want to believe. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's just the pose is great. The outfit's great. I love her outfit.
Like we've not seen him in this outfit like every other episode.
Literally.
But today it's just so good.
Mhm. He says, I don't want to believe that she's dead, or that my father would have anything to do with it, but. And she says, well, you should really talk to your father before jumping to conclusions. Sighs, I know. Or to Rafael, who's been doing an amazing job at being unreachable ever since we saw each other. I mean, it's not like they have cell phones either, but
I
okay.
know. Like, how are you trying to reach him?
Wander the streets.
Just hanging around the circus, and then you just see Rafael like looking out, seeing Will at the gates, like I'm gonna go the other way now.
Yeah.
Stay inside. Secret passageways.
He buys tickets every night.
Will is in the audience every night.
Like,
just
I've seen this show
Oh, God.
so many freaking times.
So sad. It's really awful.
his brother keeps ignoring him.
Oh, I know. And now, Lauren, the moment of truth, she's like, Will, there's something I really need to tell you.
She always gets cut off. Lauren is
Not even
seriously
tried this time, and she still got cut off.
every time.
At least she tried. Because honesty is so important. I mean, this guy is your best friend, and you're like withholding this information from him. Mm-mm.
That makes me wonder. I mean, what Lily said earlier about maybe Will is the possible betrayer.
Maybe
Will is
he's
slowly
keeping it
finding
secret.
out everybody is keeping information from him, lying to
That's why I
him, keeping it from
think.
him, whatever. Maybe when he finds out then another person is lying to him, maybe that'll be like the last betrayal is his best
And
friend.
he's gonna feel super ultimately betrayed if
Yeah.
Finds out that Lauren's partner is the purple hyacinth.
Or that she didn't tell him who Rafael is.
Yeah, that's.
I feel like
I mean,
hope
it's his
that
best
gonna-
friend, like childhood best friend. They've been through so much together. I could see that maybe Lauren keeping the secrets from him will be Will's breaking point, maybe.
I don't know, man. I just hope this is like the last episode where we don't get the miscommunication bullshit and like him being like, I'm so betrayed, and then going off and doing the thing that causes the shit. I hope that, like, you know, we get more communication, more understanding. It's like, oh yeah, remember when we were in the theater and I was like, well, I have something to tell you. Then March burst in. Yeah, that was what I was gonna tell you. But then March burst in. I feel like it's not even that she was like,
Which
not
is
gonna
sus.
mention it.
March has always been sus.
March is always sus.
But he's
Well-
very sus right now. I'm like, did he hear the conversation and
I
interrupt?
mean, he's always just appearing. Like, he's always appearing, and sometimes you're like, is he just around the hallway? And like, we don't know.
Interesting. I mean, he did say he was coming soon, so whatever, meaning that he's almost done. But whatever, let's make him sus. Why not? So he's like, "Hey guys, bad timing. I'm ready to head back to the precinct if you are." Coloring is also very nice. The very saturated colors here. And Will and Lauren look at each other, and she's like, not quite actually." And March says, "There's been some interesting developments on my side. Surprising little argument between the director and the janitor. Director was blaming him for not doing what he told him to do the evening of the premiere. That turns out the said janitor was not there that day." It's a really cute image of the little tiny director
He's like,
chair screaming at
Telling
this,
him
like,
off.
befuddled-
I just love his design. I'm glad that we see him keep popping up in these episodes. The director is a fun
He's so cute.
dude. I'm happy to see him.
Yes, he is adorable. I'm gonna cross him off my sus list because he's so cute. And did the director speak to somebody? He sure did, but not to whom he thought. And Lauren's like, "So our killer snuck in under disguise. Not surprising. I think the killer either is male or could like dress up like a male because the janitor is male here. So I mean, I'm assuming sounds like the killer is male. That's what I think."
that's what it's sounding like. Yeah.
I was wondering too, does it mean the killer looks similar to the janitor?
Right? Like reddish hair.
Yeah.
Wait.
Uh,
I mean, it's like,
Could be brown.
yeah. I mean, it's not like detailed depiction of the janitor, but maybe is it like similar body shape,
Sandman a
body?
double crosser?
Sandman is way too old to be. I think the director would recognize Sandman is not the janitor.
True.
Like the janitor is a little young.
Yeah, I don't think it's Sandman. I don't think he's a double crosser.
Yeah, I don't think he would do it because he was working with her. I don't think that was a red herring. I think that was authentic.
No.
You know, man
It
was
only
about
red
to
herring
herring.
Sandman so many times.
You know, I feel like Sandman has cleared himself like several times over at this point. Like like he isn't even in my mind for the conversation of is he going to be the traitor? Because he's said blatantly to Lauren in like plain language that he's trying to take them down. It's all of his plans.
Right.
Yeah.
Our little lie detector.
Yeah. Also, his daughter got killed by the Phantom side. Like,
I know.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
I don't think. I think Sandman's 100% like good. I don't think
That's
he's
worthy.
Sandman.
Yep. And she's like, "How did the director not notice?" And then he says, "Probably too distracted and nervous because of the premiere." For a bit, I suspected the director, but if the director actually was involved, he wouldn't admit that the janitor was different. So,
Right.
yeah.
unless he's trying to throw off suspicion from him. Oh,
Also,
Yeah,
this
put
is
the
all
director
being
back on the sus list. Everybody can be on the sus list.
yeah, there we go. He's on
I was
Jack's
about to
list.
say that maybe March was lying about what he heard, but if he was lying, Lauren would hear that. So
Right.
the guy really did say, "Oh, I talked to the janitor and he did this." So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if the director actually did it, he wouldn't be portrayed in this cute little image, but who knows? Maybe that's just my wrong interpretation. Like if he was a villain, he wouldn't be portrayed like cute and yellow. So, and Will says, "Probably too distracted and nervous because of the premiere." March, "Anyway, I've looked at the janitor's room and packaged anything that was pertinent. We'll check it out at the precinct for more detail. Can I help you with anything here? Is this evidence for the case?" And Will, about the box, is like, "Oh no, just a bunch of stuff from a friend who used to work here." So yeah, it's a lie. He could have said an acquaintance. and then it would have been true. But
I mean, why would he have an acquaintance's stuff?
yeah, but I'm saying she did used to work there, and she is an acquaintance. So
I mean, yeah, but it's not like he can hear lies, or can't he? Wouldn't that be crazy if March could also hear lies?
well, that would serve him in good stead as a leader.
That's true. I feel like there has to be at least one other person in this webtoon that can hear lies.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think so. I think they would have showed us before. I think it's very unique to Lauren.
I don't know. I feel like there has to, like, Lauren just having the supernatural ability, or at least there needs to be another person to have it, or maybe some sort of explanation. Not that it really needs it. It's more like, because that's just part of the plot, and if it's not explained, I'm not really gonna care. But I feel like it would be really interesting to see if there's like a plot reason for why
I feel like it has to come up at some point, because it seemed like I mean, of course we can't see red when Lauren's speaking, but it seemed like excuse me, that Lauren was lying whenever Kieran was asking her about her ability and said, "Who taught you?" And she like paused and froze, and she's like, "Yeah, nobody taught me."
Yeah,
it seemed really suspicious.
I don't know. I feel like there could be more there, but if there's not, that's not.
No, I mean, it doesn't make a huge difference to the story that we know of. It just, like, if you reread that episode, it's suspicious every time I read it. I'm like, who taught you, Lauren? Why are you lying?
I don't. I think it's just like a totally unexplained plot device. But we'll find out, I guess, in like after 3 years or something. However long it takes. Yeah. And she's like, well, maybe you can help us, March. It may be a waste of time, but I can't shake the feeling that there's something behind this wall. She approaches the mirror. I also can't figure out why else this mirror would be bolted in if it's not some kind of doorway. And then she looks at the frame and she's like, scratch marks. And she turns this, well, appears to be a decoration. And guess what? Ba-da-dum! It's a doorway entrance. It unlocks the mirror, and they click, they open. There's conveniently a light switch right there. They turn on the light, and it is a red room with a bunch of photographs being developed. And there's some famous paintings in front. I think that's Oscar Wilde.
Yeah, that's Oscar Wilde.
I was literally just there like,
what are the other ones?
I know, is Oscar, is he on the sus list?
He was
the leader.
I see some dancing. It looks like some performances. One of them is the actual opera house, which is cool.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
Okay, guys, so like if you zoom in and you look at the people tangoing, I was like, oh my god, did Green get a photo of Lauren and Kieran when they were tangoing?
That's hilarious. That would be fun.
Wouldn't that be so good though? That would be like a really cool full circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was doing still life.
Oh, that she was like following them this whole time.
Yeah, she was spying on them.
Yeah,
well,
she has all the evidence to incriminate Loon.
Maybe next episode we'll zoom in and we'll see that, she used a fake picture for now, but a real picture for her. Yeah, but yeah, Will, March, and Lauren are just looking in really cutely together in the door frame, and they're like, wow. Yeah, to be discussed. I think we'll have some more clues next episode. We'll get to know a little bit more about Morgan.
This was not the episode I didn't expect this, but it was really good.
I wasn't expecting the dark room at the end. I mean, that
the red room.
More questions.
Yeah, this was not the red room I was expecting.
Yeah, it opens up so many things because the character just died. Like she was introduced. She died so quickly, and now I feel like we'll get more information.
We're getting a lot more information.
But it's kind of like reverse. Like instead of getting to know her while she's alive, we're getting to know her after she passed away.
Aww.
But isn't that sad? That's kind of like how a lot of like murder investigations are. They learn more about this person, and how they take after death. Like they've hidden things in life, and then those come to light after death. So it's like kind of adds a bit to the police investigation vibes, which is cool.
Yeah,
it's a lot of like it's an interesting like narrative device to do it that way.
Also, it's in a way, it's like even though she's dead, she's still helping beyond the grave potentially.
I know, it makes me wonder like what other photographs are being developed. What are they going to see? Is there like incriminating evidence? Like, are there photos of Rafael? Are there photos of Sandman? Like, what else is in there? Like, this is
Sandman's going to be incriminated. March is going to destroy stuff. Lauren's going to hide stuff.
Yeah.
Is Rafael gonna be in these? Like, who knows?
That's really great. March
Yeah, I
being
mean,
there, I
if
think
we
is-
if we suspect March and now he sees all of this evidence,
Mm.
what could happen there?
If there's a suspicious fire or something at this opera house, we will know.
All of the photographs magically like get, I don't know, destroyed somehow.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait.
Yeah, plot movements. It's fun.
I know, I know, it's so exciting. I love
So
seeing
we've
it.
been so caught up in the thrill of the ships that like the thrill of the plot sometimes.
It's taken a bit of a back burner the past couple of episodes. The ships have been sailing full speed
Yeah.
ahead.
Hallelujah. Amen. That's
Amen.
awesome.
That was, yeah, a good episode.
So what was your guys' favorite panel?
Well,
Oh.
I'm nothing if not predictable.
I know, same. I'm like, and just
Well,
any
the
vlog.
one,
Okay,
the
let me
one
go back
with
to the
Kieran.
beginning.
This one, exactly.
Kieran, yeah, or him being
It
like,
was honestly the hair behind. It was the hair behind.
Oh,
the-
that one.
So cute.
Yeah.
I also really
I
like.
don't know. It might be TA Kieran. Like,
TA Kieran.
Yeah, Kieran, for you.
Like TA Kieran.
I don't know. He just looks really cute right there. And you guys know how I feel about the neck. So the neck is just for me right there.
I love how all of our favorites basically could be taped together to just show that entire scene.
Right.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
that
The entire
whole
sequence.
one.
I
But
don't know.
I also one of him looking so cute, going, me before marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Kieran related, but I also do like the reveal of the dark room because I was
Oh,
not.
Yeah, like the colors. Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
the colors is really good, and like you can picture Green it like hiding back there, developing the photos, maybe after one of her little haunts around town, you know.
Mhm.
Also,
I like that panel.
Will in this episode, he was serving
Yes.
and
yeah, the one of him sitting there and looking like a whole ass meal, that's a favorite.
him in the doorway and the music box and have soft tea. It was just good. It's a good episode. I feel like we got a bit of everything in this episode.
Yeah, it had a little bit.
This
to
one
appease everybody.
Kiwi, Loki plot. Yeah, it's good.
What more could we want? So much more, actually. But like, you know what? I'm fine. This is great.
But what could we want in the span of one episode? Because obviously we want all 500 episodes now.
I know.
Right. If we had all of PH now, I don't think I'd be able to handle it. Like, I like the weekly, honestly, because like we have time to like talk about it and like we could devote a lot of time to each
It's
one.
such a different reading experience because I found PH at a very strange time. I found it I found it and then just kind of put off reading it. Like, I think I read the first episode and was kind of like, I don't know. And then I read a couple other webtoons and went back to it. But I found PH the week that 105 was a fast pass.
Wow. Oh my God,
Oh, wow.
you're a PH
Oh,
baby.
So
my
I
Oh.
binged all of it,
Wow.
read the finale fast pass, and then they went on hiatus. So I was
Oh wow.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's
so
rough,
that was
buddy.
that was hard because I was obsessed and was so in love, and then I had to wait down the hiatus. But it's been really fun doing the week to week. At first, it was kind of hard because I was so used to binging, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think also doing the podcast with you guys and like taking part in this Discord, like it's a whole different kind of fun where you get to
Mhm.
like prolong
Dissect and-
that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
enjoy
it's
it real
fun.
time.
It's really fun versus just like binging everything all at once.
Right, exactly. It's like eating a bar. My husband eats a bar of chocolate, he just stuffs it all in his mouth. I take like an hour. I take a little and then a little.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
here and
We're fun
there.
that way.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's a different kind of fun, but it's really enjoyable. But it's also fun to go back. Like, it was also kind of cool reading everything all the way through too, and then going back and reading the Discord and like people's comments and like certain people feeling like, oh, like the factory arc felt like forever because for you guys it was 3 months, but for me it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, the factory arc felt so long, and I felt, confused during it because I was like, wait, where are they again?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. But when I read it in its entirety, I was like, it's a masterpiece. It was perfect. I loved every
Oh,
minute
interesting.
of it. But like, I could imagine reading it for 3 months. I'd be very frustrated.
One thing before we end, we didn't say the end note, where Soap and F were like, someone should do a compilation of all the times Lauren has thrown an inanimate object at Kieran.
Right.
I thought it said intimate object, and I was like, paper is an intimate object? Like, did she throw her bra at him? Like, what?
That is not, I know, like, that is not the intimate object I was thinking of.
And now we circled back to 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, God. Listen, I will not complain. I don't know if I necessarily would be into that, but I would not complain. That's fine. Anything.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, with that note, have a wonderful night, ladies. This was wonderful.
Thanks so much.
It was a good episode.
So good. Yeah, this one was, and we had some good material.
Only going up from here, ladies.
I know. Until next week.
And yeah, we wish you 𝗪𝗀 𝗪𝗂𝗧𝗵𝗲, which is before 𝗤𝗵𝗃𝗄𝗧 tomorrow. So we say have a basically have a good sealing in the new year. So
Nice.
Have a good ceiling, Mindy.
Yes.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you to my current patrons, Suzie, LadyLibris, Lily, Molly, Veronica, Emily, Joe Rochelle, Saucy Toggles, Anne Rose, Alexa, Misty, Joanne, Imelda, Esther, and Watching You People, Emily, Jean, Jen, Kay, Lily, Beckett, Christine, Sadie, Teresa, Mrs. Castaldo, Nini, and 𝗪𝗂𝗧𝗵𝗲. Your support is truly appreciated.